Hey, everybody, it's Mercy from Mind Over Matter with Mercy. Remember, I'm a life coach. And so today, I'm targeting, of course, moms as usual, but moms, women, all people I can help. Well, this can help anybody on here today. Anybody who wants to make some massive changes in their life and hasn't quite been able to do it. I can give you a few tips on how to do that. So the first thing, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about myself, for instance. I have changed careers a few times, and how do I do that? First of all, I decide what it is that I want to do. At one point, I guess this goes back to the story about when, my story regarding when Katrina's father betrayed both me and Katrina and sexually molested her. So at that point, of course, he was no longer in the home. My brother Jaime Ortiz, or best friend, was getting married. So I had to find a way to get a job where I had good money, good hours. And I found this job with TD Ameritrade where it was to be a stockbroker. And I decided I was going to be a stockbroker. And so the first thing you got to do when you want to make some changes is you have to set your goal. Yeah, you have to be very specific on what you want. So in my case, I wanted to get a job with TD Ameritrade as a stockbroker. So, okay, decided this. Next thing is you need to write it down. And you need to be very specific with your goals of what it is that you want. If you want to lose weight, if you want to make more money, if you want a boyfriend, a wife, whatever it is, you need to define your goal and write it down on paper. You also have to be very specific. What is it that you want, and by when do you want it, and how much of it is it that you want? So, for instance, with my job, I knew that I wanted a job that I made a certain amount of money, and I wanted the stockbroker's job, and I wrote that down, and then I started thinking, well, what is it that how does a stockbroker think? What do they do? What is it that's different about them at that point? It's like, well, I had to get licensed, had to pass the SEC test, the 6 and the 7 and the 63. So therefore, I had to study. I had those kind of things. So what I'm saying is there's pretty much 4 steps that you have to take. You define your goal. And again, be very specific about your goal. You write it down. What is it that you want? When do you want it by? And, those are the 2 basically that you need to have. But you need to write it down, put it on a calendar, write it in your planner. And then I also want you to, the 3rd step would be think of all the things that you have to do in order to reach that goal. What is it that you have to do? Write those things down as well. And on top of that, think of all the things that are going to get in your way of reaching your goal. Because that's the other thing you have to do. You have to expect obstacles or roadblocks because they're going to happen. And when they happen, that's usually when we stop doing whatever it is we are trying to reach. So if it's losing weight and that you're just supposed to eat certain foods and you're supposed to avoid sugars and breads, and that you're going to a party. And so the obstacle there would be that there's going to be lots of sugars and lots of breads and whatnot. So what are you going to do in order for you not to eat those foods? And you have to think ahead of time about those things. Are you going to bring your own food? Are you going to not go? Are you going to eat beforehand so that you're not tempted to do those things? So, as I said, first step is you have to define your goal. You have to write it down. Second, you have to be specific about your goal. What is it that you want, when you want to reach it by? Third, you have to write down all the things that it's going to take for you to get there, along with all the obstacles. And you have to come up with a strategy of how you're going to overcome those obstacles. And finally, when you want to reach a big goal, you have to start thinking, how would I feel once I reach that goal? If you want to be that person that lost 50 pounds, you have to think of yourself at that specific weight. What size of clothes you'd be wearing? How would you feel? Would you feel proud of yourself, accomplished? Would you feel, how would you walk? How would you talk? And instead of waiting to reach that goal, start doing it now. You start acting that way now. You start feeling that way now. And you ask me, well, how do I do that? Well, that's why you write it down. You paint a picture of what your future self would look like once you reach that goal. If it's, I want to be 50 pounds lighter, you think, what would that look like? What it would look like a mom perhaps that is more active with and goes out and plays with their kids. Instead of wearing a size 18, now you're wearing a size 12. The person that's 50 pounds lighter is maybe a person that takes the stairs and not the elevator or escalator. Maybe she's a person that doesn't eat desserts every day, maybe just takes a taste. So a person that's 50 pounds lighter than now and reached their goal feels proud and accomplished. So that feels good, right? So you channel all of that and you start thinking and doing those things now. And you will see that by doing that, you will become that person of the future now. So if you have any questions regarding any of this, feel free to reach out at me. You can IM me. You can email me at mindovermatterwithmercy@gmail.com. Feel free to pass this along. If there's any topics that you want me to discuss, please feel free to send some comments or add comments onto this. But that's it for me, you guys. Not feeling that great. But again, I started thinking of my future self. It's like, what would a healthy person do? They would get up, they'd get dressed, they'd put on their makeup, they do what they needed to do. And you know what? That actually helped. So channel and focus on that future person that you want to be, and you can reach whatever goal that you want. First of all, you have to conceive it, which means think about it. Then you have to believe it, and then you can achieve it. Well, that's it for me, guys. I love you. Signing off with Mind Over Matter with Mercy. And moms, remember, you're doing an amazing job. I want you to love yourselves. Go reward yourselves. Give yourselves a high five. Dads, same thing. Talk to y'all later. Bye.